You don't remember what we were talking about?
Nope, not a clue. What were we talking about?
Some actors are so good, their improvisation and ad-libs end up making the final cut of a film, and oftentimes, they can make for some of the best scenes. We don't typically think of animated movies having that much improvisation, which is why these off-script scenes totally shocked us. Which actor improvised more than 80% of their dialogue? How about the on-the-spot vanity of an evil sidekick? Which actor was so in tune with their character, they actually forgot which lines they ad-libbed?
Hey guys! That was a long minute, huh?
In the live-action version of Aladdin, there was very little room or time for ad-libbing, so it was quite a surprise to have almost a full scene improvised by the actors. Remember when the Genie and Prince Ali meet the royal family for the first time? Actor Mina Massoud said that the improvising came easy working opposite Will Smith, and that the experience was really special. The scene was actually improvised from start to finish.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
We loved what we saw on screen, so it definitely worked out for the best.
Well, yes.
One of the funnier and weirder moments in the live-action Beauty and the Beast was definitely LeFou's counseling Gaston to his happy place with whispers of fighting and explosions.
Blood, explosions, countless widows.
If it seems like a bit of an odd line for a Disney film to write, then you'd be right because it isn't a line from the script at all. Josh Gad made it up on the spot, based on a plan he and Luke Evans had come up with prior to shooting. The two collaborated and came up with this wacky idea of what would calm Gaston down, since he was most comfortable as himself on the battlefield. While what we heard was pretty crazy, there were even wilder lines that came up in the ad-lib.
Deep breaths, Gaston. Deep breaths.
So, Olaf probably has one of the best introduction lines there ever was.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olaf, and I like warm hugs.
Could he be any sweeter? What makes it even better is knowing that all the charm was pure Josh Gad as he improvised the line.
Hi, I'm Olaf, and I like warm hugs.
It was a perfect fit for the extremely lovable and notoriously funny snowman.
Yeah, that's so funny. I don't have a skull.
Another stellar Josh Gad improv line came when, well, this happened. His ad-lib
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
is pretty perfect, and what's more is that it actually started as a joke. Gad jokingly said it while recording, and the team loved it so much they decided to create this glorious animation. It definitely took the actor by surprise when he watched the film because he didn't think they'd actually use it. We're definitely glad they did.
Just put it in. The randomness will work. Never thinking that they would actually do it.
Loads of the dialogue between Timon and Pumbaa from the live-action Lion King film was actually improvised by Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner. The first day recording was actually spent improvising all the Timon and Pumbaa scenes. An absolute gem that came from these ad-libs was when Seth Rogen commented that the bugs they were eating were all local.
Extra crunchy.
They're local.
Yeah. Oh, are they?
They're from right there.
Timon's many zingers were one of the best parts of The Lion King. One in particular really made the iconic Hakuna Matata scene better than we could have imagined. Remember when Timon said,
I was always here for you and I resent that.
It's not too much of a shocker to know that that wasn't in the script, but a brilliant ad-lib from Eichner. Robin Williams is famous for improvising the majority of his Genie in the animated version of Aladdin. He was the Genie, and the Genie was him. So much so that about 80 to 90% of all the dialogue in the movie was actually ad-libbed. One of the best Disney references comes from the Genie. We're of course referring to the Pinocchio bit.
I'll do it. I'll set you free.
Yeah, right.
Williams was riffing in a recording session, and the animators thought it was genius, so they added it in. We wonder how many bits of gold didn't actually make the cut.
Kind of pushing the boundaries of Disney animation, which is great.
If it didn't seem like a line scripted by Disney, that's because it wasn't. Nathan Lane was the one who came up with,
What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula?
and are we ever glad he did? It's a great line, but honestly, kind of surprising Disney would have kept it in the film, especially at the time. Thank goodness it was included because it's actually what inspired the Timon and Pumbaa luau scene.
Oh no, are you kidding me? I don't have my wallet.
Remember the amazing hustle shown off by our favorite fox Nick Wilde?
You liar!
It's called a hustle.
Well, this lost wallet bit in Zootopia actually came from an improvisation. Jason Bateman had done the scene in a few different ways while recording, and they varied in range wildly. Even one very melodramatic version.
Sly Fox, Dumb Bunny.
How could anyone forget Iago, Jafar's parrot sidekick? The actor who voiced the bird, Gilbert Gottfried, improvised loads while he was in the recording booth, and sometimes even went so far that the team had to remind him to pull back, because after all, it is a children's film. One of his absolute best one-liners is definitely here, when he takes a while contemplating over the picture of himself and Jafar.
And how about this picture? I don't know, I think I'm making a weird face in it.
We wonder how many improvised gems didn't end up making the cut. Finding Dory gave us all the Dory we wanted. Ellen DeGeneres' interpretation and portrayal of the forgetful fish was incredible, and her instincts spot on. Dory is notorious for asking lots of questions and talking at the speed of light. When she isn't speaking whale, that is. One of the funniest was definitely when she said,
"How can you do this park in one day? Seriously."
Pick one.
Okay.
It's a pretty perfect Dory line and reminds us just how lovable a character she is. There actually wasn't a ton of room for improvising throughout the recording process within too many scenes, so for the most part, DeGeneres just threw in a little ad-lib line here and there. Her improvs were so in line with the character that sometimes she didn't even remember she was the one that thought of them.
What tag? There's a tag on my fin.
One moment in cinema history that has never gotten old is definitely Nemo's pronunciation of
Anemone.
The topic of an anemone wound up being a great point of conversation, since it also proved useful for Marlin's failed delivery of a joke.
The sea cucumber looks over the mollusk and says, "With fronds like these, who needs anemones?"
This hilarious delivery was thanks to some improvisation from Albert Brooks. He spent the whole day in the studio ad-libbing that joke and didn't mess it up the same way once. We would have loved to hear all the other improv mangled joke tellings.
And then the sea cucumber? Well, I'm mixed up.
Anyone remember Cogsworth's clever and memorable remark from the animated Beauty and the Beast film? The line,
"Flowers, chocolates, promises you don't intend to keep,"
was actually made up on the spot by actor David Ogden Stiers. This is a pretty perfect ad-lib. Moana was filled with so many great characters and hilarious lines, but we have to give props to by far the shiniest character, Tamatoa. Remember that clever reference to Sebastian?
If my name was Sebastian and I had a cool Jamaican accent, you'd totally help me.
Well, the idea itself was written in by Jared Bush, but the majority of the lines themselves were pretty much made up on the spot by Jermaine Clement. He had ad-libbed a few other golden moments, but unfortunately, not all the gold could make the cut.
Still upside down here. Just need a little push.
Ever wonder how the Mad Hatter in the animated version of Alice in Wonderland felt like such a real person? Well, it's probably because the character we see of the Mad Hatter is actually based on the actor who portrayed him, Ed Wynn. Wynn was notorious for ad-libbing, and one day he came up with the watch repairing bit and Walt Disney overheard it. He loved it so much that he thought it should be in the final cut of the film. The trouble was, it hadn't been recorded with great quality since it was just a riff, but Walt didn't care. He made sure it was in the final cut.
We'll have to look into this. Aha!
After seeing all these brilliant moments, it just goes to show how well cast all these actors were. These movies definitely wouldn't have been the same with other actors. Which improv moment surprised you the most?